All right. Welcome, my friends. We are starting the dueling tournament with some exhibition games. This is to try out the rules. So we have Lucid is playing Pangea, and ben-sphynx is playing Zabalba. Now we won't see anything this very first turn, so I will just play my turn. Is that all? It's not letting me do anything. Why not? That's kind of weird. Funky going on here. There we go. Okay, so all we can see right now is me doing absolutely nothing. And we'll just end the turn. We should also set the timer. Okay, we're up and running. So not a lot to see yet. Looks like those guys are in. They're working on their turns. And we'll wait and see what develops. In the interim, let's have a look at the bracket. So this is just a little four-person bracket. It's single elimination. I have not set up the double elimination at this point in time. Plan for the full tournament will be double elimination, which means you'll basically get at least 2 games. And for the second game, the losers of the first round jump down to a new bracket, and then the winner of that one will go back into the main bracket in the final. So hopefully that is clear. I'll put some demonstrations of that up a little later. Just take a look here. So for now, these guys, Lucid and Ben, both enjoyed this nation selection method. So both have chosen no underwater. They submitted a short list to me in private, and then once both had submitted it, I shared with each of them the others' choices, and then they could pick one of those based on what they saw. So I hope that's clear as all get out. See what's the action. Is there action? Ah, here we go. Here's the turn. Okay, let's pull this out of the way. Now we should see some stuff. Okay, so do we see anything? Were there any profits? Yes, both have built a profit. Do we have any cool names? I don't see any cool. Bats be gone, the black harpy. Okay, there you go. Good on you there, Lucid. Good on you. What else we got happening here? And Hun Bats the Batab. Okay, looks like Ben is not renaming his profit. Barely got it? Hey there, barely got it. What do you mean, Tylus, by barely got it? Oh, you mean you just caught it in time? Alright, now, we're having a look at the overview. We'll just keep an eye on the timer here. So we put thrones in because basically we kind of have to have them. There's really no choice about it. The bot requires thrones as the victory condition. So after talking with both Lucid and Ben, we decided we'd set these thrones at level 3 thrones. So you can see they're really not going to be taking these thrones. I think safely, there's just no way. And the idea being that this really isn't intended to be a duel, is really not a throne fight. So now let's just see if there's any chat in action. No, no chat in action. Oh. Okay, that should work better. Yes, that should work better. The timer set wrong, so I went and adjusted that. Alright, and now, do we have anything else we really want to show here? Not yet. Not yet. We'll just wait for a turn with some real action. Nobody try to blind expand. so that's interesting. That's the sum total of the messages. For Hall of Fame, I set it pretty small. Are you looking at the scales? Let's have a look. A duel is a Hellblesh rush? Well, more or less. Oh, SP1P3 is part of your nickname. That's not something you said. Howdy, French Ferret. I think commonly, I mean, we've not done significant amounts of dueling 1v1 since we did a dueling tournament back in Dominions 3, and let me put up the link, and actually I can show it here. So here is the old dueling tournament we did in 2012, and I'll give you the link here as a live. So if you want to kind of chat, oh, do I have to do it in a web browser? I do. That's kind of annoying. It's not really where I want it to be, but so it won't let me type here too easily, but awkward. So here's the original dueling tournament from years ago, and there's been nothing like it since then that I'm aware of. There's been talk about it, but no action. So for scales, let's see what we've got. Zabalba has gone sloth, heat, death, and luck. Pangea has gone some order, cold, misfortune, and drain. Okay, these are going to be some pretty hefty blesses, I think. Alright. So Zabalba's still playing his turn, so we can wait for that. What else is there to look at? Looks like independence. Straightforward. Living statues. That's and a golem. Could be entertaining. War elephants. Slingers and nectromos. Malicious heavy calves and light calf. And jade maidens. Oh my. Oh my. I don't see too much in the way of easy expansion here. Let's see. No, that's easier. I think Zabalba might have the easier. And just Hoburg militias. Heavy infantry and slingers and hoplites. And lizard warriors. Well, that's pretty tough. So, whoa. Well, the random number generator is kind of stiffed lucid on the beginning here. So hopefully everybody watching the stream, I mean, if you found the stream, it's probably because you're a member of Lucid's Discord or a member of mine, so you'll be familiar with these people. Don't know if you're familiar with ben-sphynx. I've played him a few times. And as he reminded me in both games he won. Like this is generating some interest, some people dropping by my Discord. Okay, Yeah, Lucid. We can see he's chatting away about the indies. All right, I gotta end my turn because those guys are done and waiting on me. All right, let's see what the action is. Oh, double expand by Lucid. Whew, touch and go. I'm gonna watch this. See what he did. 3 squads, good call. This is a method that I found works. Okay, one thing I would do, which I've learned from some practice, is put a few of these guys on attack instant and a few on attack rear, but that went well. Quite well. Yeah, the hoplites are giving him some trouble, but you know, one of the troubles with Zabalba is attrition is painful with bats. Which one's he using? He's using the club bats, so that's solid. Alright, I don't think there's too much more I need to say about that. The Maryland guy on Twitch, yeah, well, it's the same Maryland guy. But I just found that Twitch was a little too difficult, or it had technical problems. The biggest one is it didn't save my stuff. Okay, I think we've seen enough of that one. Don't want to hold these guys up. Now let's have, oh, satyrs and satyr warriors, so that's his start army, I believe. Looks like this went just fine. He's not using his minotaur to attack, which is probably very wise. And these are horse tribe. Okay, horse tribe's pretty straightforward. Ben? No, he's playing. I played him in 2 games recently. A disciples game where they beat us. They beat us well, but it was we put up a heck of a fight. I think we were a solid second in that disciples game. And the other one was a Lanka game for me, and he was Hinnom. No, Lucid is Pangea, Loggy. Okay, so he did fine there. Unless I posted something backwards. And oh, and a few white centaurs with his prophet. We lost a couple. Yeah, Zabalba might be the closest to a Zerg thing that you can do in this game. At least until they can roll out some magic. Gosh, those darn hoplites, yeah. Pretty solid. Protection 17 and big high damage spear. Stats are pretty basic, but now let's take a look at his blasts. Oh, so pretty rainbowy kind of blast. Totally a rainbow blast. Oh, isn't that interesting? So a stat blast. Lots of attack skill. Okay, that's solid. Alright, well I don't want to hold these guys up, so I'll just, I can see down here I'm not holding them up. But I agree. Especially at the early part of the game, Zabalba is Angry Batman, yeah. My demonic undead. What? Oh, yeah, right. My freebie scouts. Okay, so bad independence or not, Lucid has made a major bold move. Now, do we see anything happening here at home? Unbats the Batab. I'm pretty sure that's going to be his prophet. So he's built some Zabalban warriors, which I believe. Let's take a look here. Tenders of the World. And Zabalban warriors. No, sun guides. Oh no, he's just building the basic guys. Did we see any sun guides? I didn't notice. No fire resistance. No. But they know what each other's nations are. So you can build your bless in anticipation of what you're expecting. At least they had a pretty good idea. Well, they knew before they built Pretenders what the map was and what the opponent's nation was. We did build some sun guides. There you go. And he built some scorpions. Okay. What have we got here for Lucid? White centaurs. So yeah, all he's building is white centaurs. He can only afford 3 of them so far. Still, could be worse. Definitely could be worse. Is there anything else on this map? So you'll notice there's a couple of water provinces. There's 4 total. I believe those are simply on the map for the purposes of if you've picked a nation that must have a coastal start, so that it doesn't break the start algorithm. Because that could be a nuisance with any of the sailing nations. And these guys chose their map. They just mutually chose the map. Is this a Westnoth map? It's got Westnoth imagery because a couple of the map makers, I believe Executor likes to use the Westnoth map maker to make Dominion's map, but I don't believe this. I've never seen this map in an actual Westnoth scenario. So I think they just took the assets and the map maker and then used it to build maps for Dominions. This is a custom duel map, very distinctly, with a one direction horizontal wrap and a moderate number of provinces. Alright, they're waiting on me, so here we go. Ooh, no expansions for Zabalba this turn. Okay. Oh, these are going well. So he took out some more horse tribe. And what did he go after? And some archers and heavy infantry. So he's doing a deep expansion, leaving these brutally tough guys till later. See, I'm guessing heavy cav with 30. It's probably about 5 to 7 heavy cav. So I would probably want 10 white centaurs, because he's not hellblessed. Um, I had some trouble in one of my games when I used van or Midgard cavalry, and I bumped up against some. No, actually, that was in the All Stars. I was using Centaur warriors, which aren't blessed, which usually work at about the 8 to 10 range, but I came up against 10 heavy cavalry. Oh, Rail, there you are. Hey, man, good to see you. Gonna join the shenanigans? You should come duel, buddy. You should definitely come duel. Um, so okay. So Zavalba went back to collect more. He's put up a little bit of PD, a little bit of PD. So they're remembering the little tidbits, doing your PD. Yeah, okay. Bought a Centaur Hierophant. Okay, that makes sense. And what else do we see here? Some Scorpions. Again, Sun Guides. An Onacom. Onacom. Getting the names of some of these guys. Onacom. Onacom. There we are. Oh, okay. The B ones. No problem. Well, you can join in later on. This is just doing. How long is a duel game? Rail would know better than me because Rail has done duels far more than me. Often they end by turn 30 or 40, and but we're probably not going to be able to finish this today. Ben only has a couple of hours, so he might be able to finish it up in 2 hours. It just depends on how quickly the guys can play. But because it's a duel, you know exactly where the other guy's capital is. You know exactly where you need to send your dudes. You can expand reasonably. Probably don't even want to build a second fort. It depends. I'm not very good at dueling. I'll be frank, because I have a tendency to want to build up too much and then wait too long. You just really don't have time. But we still don't have a good grasp of the bless that Zabalba is using. But of course, you know, if we're having a look, this is early age Pangaea, and these are white centaurs. Which are gruesome no matter how you look at it. Expensive, but there are sacreds that are more expensive. Oh, sorry about the sound. My bad. Here's the bless for Zabalba. So you can see serious attack skill, a little bit of poison, some undying, and strength, and larger. So that's entertaining. So that puts these guys up in large, so size 3, right? Because Zabalbans are only a 2. They're one of the few flyers that aren't size 3. I think, let's see. Yeah, there's 2 per square. That's pretty good. Yeah, the reason the sound was out briefly, hopefully it's back, I put it on mute while I was taking a slurp. Can you hear me now? Okay. Well, nothing too fancy there. Pretty straightforward. He's chewing up these little militias, but that's not all that surprising. Nothing much to that. Both are large dudes, yeah. Alrighty. Okay, I think we've seen enough of that. I can't probably watch all the battles. Oh, okay, so that was just a probe. He probed the elephants. 11 elephants. Fairly significant. And 5 white centaurs easily managed a few heavy infantry. Not too surprising. So I suspect there's nothing special here. Way up front, Divine Blessed, because the Harpy is his prophet. Yeah, I just put it on mute for a second while I was taking a drink. I try not to slurp when I'm recording. It's either that or because I was lighting a smoke. Bad habits. Okay, that's pretty solid. They berserked and dead. And he had one more battle, and this... okay. Well, he did his best with the remaining of his starting army. And that's not bad. So did he send the Hierophant to cast some kind of spell? Oh no, just to bless, because he sent some white centaurs. Oh, so it was the start army with white centaurs. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of Jade Maidens. Now, of course, they're not blast, because AI kind of sucks at that. That is just too many. Just too many. Some almost got to the back, but they had bodyguards. Yeah, and then it's a rout. Oh, that was expensive. That was expensive. I mean, the satyr is no big deal, but the white centaurs, that hurt. That definitely hurt. Okay, so that's a pretty substantial setback for Lucid. It'll take him a little while to catch up with that one. Yes, 44 charging lances is a lot. I mean, he soaked a lot of them with the satyrs he had, but even so, they hit pretty hard. Now we got a couple of minutes while Zabalba finishes up his turn. So let's just review that again. How many of these guys still had their lances? These Jade Maidens still had their lances when the white centaurs came up to the line. Now this bunch here, yeah, they still got their lance hits. Bam. So let's look at this one. That didn't hit very hard. Quite a bit of repel. Wow. Boy, and the hoof kills. Yeah. But just too many. See? There's one there. Look at that. Jade Maiden missed. The bite was repelled, but hit him with the light lance for 15 points. Yeah, 15 got through. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Alright. Okay. Let's host. Jade Priestesses are only leadership 40. Easy face for the second round. That is true. Messenger arrived from Pangaea. 44 Jade Maidens and Stowed Monsters. Yes, Lucid, you just got stiffed. I realized I was last. I was trying to watch the little icons in the bottom right and not hold these guys up too much, but also at the same time giving something for you to watch. So, mixed bag. All right. Well, he had another 13 ready to go, and he finished him off with no trouble. No trouble. Have a quick watch. Yeah, so the front line caved, and some of them were probably beat up previously. So, good. Okay. Well, that went better, but that's an expensive start to the game. Sun Guides. He's running 14 with a good chunk of the Balvan Warriors. So like I mentioned, one thing I might suggest, what I would probably do is have the Sun Warriors on attack rear, but on hold attack rear, and sacrifice the handful of Zabalban warriors. Just accept they'll die. Still, that went exceptionally well. No losses. So from the overall perspective, Alba now has 3 independent provinces, all in his cap circle. But Pan is at 6 for a total of 7. So let's look at our score graphs. Provinces. Ooh, Pan's pretty far ahead. Although army size, he took a bit of a hit. And research-wise, Pan has done no research yet. Generated as open-ended 5 dice 6. Wow. Well, you can have a look there. I'm not sure 5 dice 6, so 3.5 times 5, 17.5 on average. 44 is a hell of a lot. If I'm doing my math right. Not much else to see here. Well, this is looking in Lucid's favor, except for the painful loss of White Centaurs. But even so, Zabalba's going to need something pretty funky. Now, of course, it is flyers, so he has a number of options to snipe that profit. Exploding dice. All of Dominions uses the Dominion's random number, which is every time, well, actually, not all, almost all. Not 5 dice 6? Okay, because I was thinking how the heck did 5 dice 6 hit 45? But anyways, the exploding die is every time you roll a 6, you roll again. I mean, the probability of that is kind of tricky to calculate. 44 is pretty... Well, 5 dice 6 on average is 17.5, I believe. Okay, well, you guys figure that out. But 44 was a hell of a lot, no question about it. Okay, I'm going to end my turn. I'm going to pause very briefly while I get myself a beverage. Okay, I'm back. Bets on who will win. Leave that for you guys. I'm not going to bet on that. I'm trying to host this tournament, so. Okay. So he put in 2 harpies. Okay, I'm curious to see what the idea behind. Oh, I see. Just bait. Good, good. Cheap, cheap bait squad. What's he baiting? Just the heavy cavalry. Okay, so he's working to soak some lance charges. They're on hold attack. Okay, and he's got the white centaurs on hold so that hopefully they all get blessed. And smackety smackety smack. So the heavy cavalry ran right past the harpies. Completely ignored them. Well, French Ferret, I don't think any of us really know the Dominions 5 duel meta. I mean, there's quite a bit of blitzing goes on the Clockwork server. There's not a lot of blitzing on Lucid server, and I can't host yet on mine. So I would host blitzes, but I can't. And 1v1 is not super common for blitzing. I don't know what tricks he can use. I guess we'll just have to see. Oh, whoa. Well, he sure didn't. He sure wasn't phased here. EA Pan and EA Zebnur. Yes, sir. Exactly. Lucid is on Pan, and ben-sphynx is on Zavalba. And Lucid got a pretty ugly starting situation for the independents, but he's doing quite well. He took one really hard hit. Okay, well, that was the easiest expansion against Lizard Warriors I've ever seen. And, okay, so he's got them on 20 of them all at once. Well, he might be able to split that in half, but he does have a challenge with Blessing, so it's hard to say. Just want to make sure. So the Scorpions are bait. And he's got all the flyers on hold attack now. And smackety smack, there goes the commanders, and the fight's over. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That works well. Okay. Oh, and I don't care about that. Who cares about unexpected events? Well, so Pangaea got 2 more provinces. Alba only got 1. Expansion's looking ragged. You can go for early blood with Zabalpa. Well, hey Kitson, I don't think the map was borrowed from Westnoth. I believe Rail is here. He made the map, and he used the Westnoth editor, correct, Rail? Should be able to. He's still hanging out here. So it's made with the Westnoth editor, which works nicely for maps. And my understanding, it's a very easy editor to use. It makes map making a lot easier than the other methods. Okay, so if we look at provinces, Pan has a heck of a lead. On the other hand, Pangaea has no research, so there's some low-lying fruit in the research, and they do have the soul spells, so Zabalba may have a trick. I'm not an expert with Zabalba. Played it a bit in Dominions 5, but yeah, like I've never seen maps of this shape in West North, long and narrow like this. This is very Dominions-y kind of 1 versus 1 kind of map, a dedicated dueling map. It's one of the better ones. There's some other good-looking ones too that are more custom-made. There's one that Rail, do you remember the map? What's it called? Cradle of Dominions from Dominions 3. There's one of the dueling maps I've posted. No, there's no time. Diplo can't buy you any time in 1v1. One of the reasons I wanted to host this is people get into theory crafting about dueling, saying, well, this nation is better than that nation, and I'll prove it in a duel. I would argue, and I have argued, that dueling is not a measure of what works in a normal free-for-all game or even in a Disciples game. Um, Although, if you were to have, like, there's a 15 versus 15 game going on right now, Disciples, that is basically still a duel because you know exactly who you're fighting. You don't have to, you don't have to consider magic research for various nations. You can focus on exactly the counter for the nation the nations you know are coming. So it is still a form of a duel. If there's only two teams, it's a duel. And there's certain elements of the meta of dueling that are different than regular games. There's no diplomacy. Obviously, like, I suppose you could negotiate a ceasefire, but why? Oh, I gotta go pop out and get my tea. I'll be right back. You are correct, sheep thief. You are correct. Lucid is playing Pangea. Lucid has also been practicing dueling lately. Been talking about doing some interesting things with oh, Lucid's got a question for me in text. Alright, here comes the new turn. Holy cow, 3 expansions for Lucid. Ho ho ho. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 7 white centaurs. Well, that's not worth watching. That's a token army. Losses were pretty hefty here. Undead. Yeah, there was a lot of them. Okay, that was pricey. I mean, every loss of white centaurs is hard to replace. Still, on the other hand, he's seriously ahead. He's got some banish there, but yeah, that was fairly pricey. Well, if we have time, we can come back and look at that some more. And the third one, 12 versus Furbolgs. Furbolgs are solid. That's a big army. That went exceptionally well. So he has to, no wonder he doesn't have any research, because he kind of has to double up on the Centaur Hierophants. Or he is doubling up to be sure he gets everything blessed. That's a bit pricier, but he's got really hefty independence. And unless I made a mistake, let's just pop out and take a look. But I'm pretty sure I set the game settings. Independence are at 5. Yeah, so very normal, very standard. Province population count look like with the long dead. Let's see, which one was that? Was that? That was this one? Nope. Wick. Right, Wick. Very crappy. Very crappy. That was a craptastic province. Oh, and now, now he can't go any further that way because of the 2 thrones. We're going to adjust that throne idea. This is the exhibition bracket of just 4. We're just trying to work out how to do rules that are fair without being too restrictive. And I did list Might is right. Researchers for puny humans. Good one. Good one. I like it. All right, we didn't see what Zabalba did here. What's he doing? Well, he's still keeping this really big expansionary all as one unit. And that's very safe, but a bit slow. So, it would really help him to have a second expansion army. Oh boy, he didn't buy any troops this turn. Okay, so let's look at the scores. So we know that provinces, oosh. Ports is still at 1. Income, yeah. So Lucid's jumping the gun here. Gem income, okay. Looks like Zabalba's doing a bit of site searching. Research, that's a pretty slow, the slope of that graph is pretty low. So he's not upping it very quickly. He's sending a lot of guys out and about. Dominion, nothing much happening. Army size, well, if you consider that much of this army for Lucid is white centaurs. Well, actually, well, I can explain that to you. Both nations in the second group of the bracket picked Hinnom, or Ashdod, sorry, which by the rules makes it a ban. So if you pick the same nation, we just simply ban it. It's either that or redo the first 3 picks. Both of the groups preferred the rule where they send me 3 picks. I then share, once I get both of them's 3 picks, I share them with each other. Then they pick one of them blind so that the other guy doesn't know, and then that's what they go with. If they pick the same, we just set a simple rule that if you pick the same, we cancel that pick. It's just out of the game. So hopefully that was clear. If you've got more questions, feel free to bring them up in the text channel if I don't answer them adequately here. Yeah, most undead Indies divide the province by 4, yeah. I think Rail kind of knew that, and that's why he asked. It's always a mixed bag even bothering, but I think positionally that was Wick, right? Oh, well, he didn't know these thrones were here. So he probably was hoping that this would give him a way over to Zabalba. But now he's got to pull back and go around to the south side. And maybe I kind of stiffed these guys a bit by allowing thrones to be side by side and being a complete block of all action. We'll work on that. I kind of rushed putting the map together today. So they're waiting on me, so let's go. Can I link my Discord? I absolutely can. It's also at the top of my banner on my YouTube channel. But I will get you a link here right away. Right away. Bum, 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 bum. There you go. There's my Discord. Well, 2 more expansions by Lucid. Both just straightforward white centaurs. Another expansion by Zabalba. I don't really think there's anything too much to see here. Let's have a look at the map. Oof. Okay. Here comes the straight beeline, straight for Zabalban capital. He's got to get through the lizards, barbarians, but he can see his route, so he's 1, 2, 3, 4 turns away. That could make a change up here very quickly. Did he pull these other guys back? So he's got 20 white centaurs in the capital. A harpy here with a single nothing. Yeah, I think he's decided he'll just go the one way that's already prepped. Okay, he's also going down around this direction. Well, Lucid is starting to converge on Zabalba. Zabalba's on Ben. So Ben's expansion is a little tense. we see any other significant changes in the graphs. Provinces. Ooh. Oh. Wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. Okay. But nobody's... Yeah, so you can see the one big hit when Lucid went up against the Jade Maidens. Other than that, though, he's just had nice, steady growth of his armies, which means pure white centaurs with magi. There's not much else to say. Anybody got any questions? Thing they want to have a look at? Don't know what else I could show you. Let's wait for these guys to do their turns. The snowball is real. Oh yeah, absolutely. So quickly, we'll just jump back to the bracket. I'm going to hit end turn. Jump back to the bracket here. Where are we? Bracket. So these are, we use the, I had actually set that it would be round 2 we would use these rules. But so basically, so right at the top, the first rule, if they just want to pick nations and map on their own without me, Lucid's luck scale. That's a great question. We got time. I'll pop in very quickly. Lucid went misfortune 2. Misfortune 2. Nobody's built extra forts yet, and I didn't see any even started. Anyway, so there's the first of the rules, is that if they just want to pick up a map and nations between themselves without my involvement, great. But if they want to use some kind of a drafting system, and the second critical rule is that anybody can ban underwater. Now, the only reason I added that is that would allow, if people really wanted to have an underwater versus underwater duel, which somebody might want to do. There's not a lot of good maps for it, but there are some. And if there are underwater nations, then obviously you have to pick either underwater or a strong amphibious nation. The other parts of the rules, generally I put the research at easy, and I banned mercenaries. Rail would know about that. That's an old rule we did years ago when we did this before, simply because mercenaries distort a duel so that it opens up the idea that if you got crap troops, you can compensate. I don't know, it's just an excessive level of extra randomness, because if you get shipwreckers early, just twists the whole game. These throne rules are a little weird. Yeah, water elemental, of course, but that's what pretty much underwater wars tend to move towards. This whole thing with the thrones, the idea was we have to put thrones in to use the bot, but we really don't want, I don't think anybody that I've talked to involved that wants to duel wants to do this as a throne win. They want it just to be a bash each other senseless. And the only mods were the heroes and omniscience. Now I'll use omniscience when the duel is in a schedule I can do. I'm sure I won't be streaming every single one of these duels. And I think that's about it for the brackets. Now if turns up, so let's have a look at it. 3 more expansions by Lucid, and only a single one by Ben. Whoosh. So success, and success, and oh, that's just a probe. So 2 expansions, and he probed the... So what did he come up against? 36 living statues and 2 stone monsters. Whoosh. Good God. Man, fighting those without getting your commanders killed. That would be I'm surprised he didn't even lose the Minotaur Lord. 1 throne of level 3 in a province without a connection would work great. It's just a map. We only got started this morning, and I put about 30 minutes into prepping the map because I had to customize it for Omni. And I think that's an excellent idea, and we've kind of talked about something similar to that. But we'll look into doing that. But in order to make that happen, I have to edit the map. Well, son of a gun. So Lucid is pushing two different directions directly at Zabalba. He's coming around this throne over here, this direction, and he's coming around this way. He's got reinforcements coming. No, he's got most of the rest of his white centaurs. He's probably sort of seeing which way is going to be the easiest. Really? Well, that is an interesting fun fact, Loggy. So it's Watchers, but he steady gets the stone monsters. It's kind of buggy, but I mean, nothing like there's not bugs in Dominions. I'm sure I've seen Watchers somewhere for Independence, but I guess this isn't one of them. All right, anybody, anything, anybody? Did I answer? I answered your luck scale question, right? Sheep thief. Just review the scales. That's about us. Yeah. As far as I should turn candles on, see if anybody's got any, and it might be helpful to have the income box on. Maybe I'll zoom my map in a little closer. See a little better. Those are some pretty nice little bits of gold that Lucid's got. That's a nice one. That's a juicy one. This one's solid, and that one's very nice. Candles. Candles looks like they're spreading reasonably well. I mean, neither one has scales that are so good that candle spread's terribly important. Over here for Sabalba. Okay, so he's about to find out if he didn't send scouts. He's about to find out that he can't go any farther that way. That's an okay province. So what's he found for sites? Found some sites somewhere, but we're not seeing them. Oh, there we go. Oh my. 1, 2, 3, 4 death gems a turn. That's pretty nice. It's kind of hard to tell. I can't tell what Omni doesn't let me see what independents they can recruit. I'm guessing though they probably have some independent scouts, but I'm not particularly seeing any. I think they'll show up because the Omni thing put the scout everywhere. Really don't get to see a whole heck of a lot of scout action, so it's kind of hard to tell. There's certain limitations to the Omni mod. I mean, it's very cool, but it's not perfection. That's some pretty nice sites in that province. Question is, can he leverage those in time? Found an arena, extra gold, mist-covered highlands, some air gems. Not going to be something we can get a great deal of use out of. I believe mist-covered islands is a level 0, so you don't have to search for it. But, you know, you take gems and you do what you can with them. Well, my prediction right now is, probably hear it in my voice, Zabelba is going to be challenged. It's going to be challenged. I think they both took dormant. That's my guess. What turn are we on? Turn 10. We should see Pretender Gods pretty soon. Okay. Well, these guys brought up a good point. If I end my turn and jump back in, then I don't hold the game up. I didn't even think of that. It's an excellent idea. Excellent, excellent idea. I have to jump back and forth from different windows. Thank God I've got dual screen. I've got my streaming software and the chat over here on my right hand screen, the game on my left hand screen, and zipping around here, popping back and forth to Discord. All right, turns up. Oh my gosh. 1, 2. Whoa, he got those elephants. He got those elephants. Wasn't cheap. Wowzer. So that puts Lucid. Oh, okay. He slowed down on the push. Grab those elephants instead. Yeah, 2 screens is nice, but I don't have a lot of money for hardware, so I get by with, I mean, this 1 screen, it's not bad. It's an old 19-inch, but it's probably 15 years old. Thank God it keeps working. Any of you guys know Terry Pratchett? I guess there was an article some years ago, I think it was in Wired magazine. Terry Pratchett would write with a giant set of 4 screens, and he had to get this really complicated setup in order to run 4 screens. Switchers, and I don't know how the heck it all worked out. Because there's, to the best of my knowledge, you can get dual screen cards. There might be some really good graphics cards with triple screen, but I don't know of any cards that have 4 ports. So that was quite a few years ago, and technology has changed substantially since then, but he was kind of famous as an author for, typing on one and having multiple chats open and watching the news, and man, the multitasking. So sometimes I find even this a little bit on the hefty side. Alrighty, so we will do this end turn thing again and then jump back in. So let's have a look at this fight with the Heffalumps. Do you do anything funky? No, absolutely not. This is straightforward line formation. And, oh, all right, he got a white centaur hero. Well, that's pretty nice with misfortune. He's actually got, oh, that's not his profit. And he just sent them forward, and bam, they slam in. Yeah, okay, well, it went fine. But, 6 white centaurs does hurt. That's probably his critical mass, yes, definitely critical mass. That's why we didn't see the white centaurs exit his capital. So he's got a lot of candles. He's got 7. So that's quite a lot. I'm guessing he picked a Titan. Pretty good chance he picked a Titan. It's not terribly easy to get a bless as broad as his on a Titan, but it's also very expensive to get Dominion 7 on a rainbow. But we'll see soon enough. He's got a pan finally. Not so much to see. So, and there was no expansion by Zavalva this turn, correct? Let's check. None. Oh, holy moly's. Well, ben-sphynx made a comment that he might have got his balance of scales not quite on the money for this one. But this is just the exhibition round. It's a good place to sort of get a feel for this whole dueling tournament. Because there's lots of players who play a lot who've probably never done a duel before. Well, I have to say, I believe we're at an absolute record for number of viewers. We're at 17. That's amazing. Pretty cool. Okay, anybody got any questions? Anything you want to have a look at? There's not a whole heck of a lot else here to show. And definitely, if this interests you, I mean, this is a low commitment kind of thing. Come and join the tournament. If folks want to do another 4-person bracket for exhibition before we get into the real tournament, I wanted to confirm that the Clockwork version 4 was solid. It had a lot of troubles with the initial rollout, and Drethel was telling me it's not quite ready to move into more discords yet. So there's the, how many does he have? Have a look. Mr. Clockwork is on how many servers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a lot more than there was. There is some challenge with capacity challenges. Okay, a little bit of tidbit for you guys. Lucid just shared in the chat that he meant to take defense, not cold resist. So a bit of a glitch there. That cost him a little bit, but not too bad. Whoops. Uh-oh. I think the server might have just gone down. Yeah, exactly, French Ferret. It's one of the ideas behind it. See, another thing I'd like to do, but I'm kind of waiting to have the bot expanding or have it installed on my Discord. I'd like to do some small games 6v6. We ran some really interesting 6v6 again in the past, and it's a nice fast size. It's still a free for all, but it's a lot lower commitment. As soon as, like, 12 is sort of the magic number, it's very popular. But as soon as you go over 12, um, things start to slow down and you end up in heavy late game and you get big empires. Part of the thing is, if you've got 20 plus players, you're not going to be into the final rounds of the last couple or 3 players until you're at 40, 50 provinces. That makes for a lot of micro. I don't mind it, but it's not insignificant. Okay. Okay. So we got a glitch with querying the server Nataraj, but Lucid can connect and Ben is still in the game, so we're all right there. Slowing down a bit, but that's not unsurprising. Well, Lucid's got pretty much nothing left at home. Doing any research yet? Yes, he has started doing a little bit of research. All right, turns up. Okay, one more expansion from Alba. Barbarians. Okay, we did fine. Bit costly. Demon of... Oh, we lost a hero. Oh, that kinda sucks. How did he lose the hero? Did it rush into battle? Or did it just end up too far on a flank? Oh, gosh. Yeah, it was too far forward, and some of the barbarians got past his lines. Oh, ouch. Well, that's a major setback. That is a pretty substantial setback. No question about it. Well, that's kind of weird. It says it's dead here, but I didn't see it die. Okay. Let's take a look at that province. Let's go to it. Yeah, it's not there anymore. Did it run for home? Nope. It is dead. What about Lucid? Ooh, 22. Well, yeah, I imagine they succeeded. That was pretty hefty losses. Bear tribe. Ah, it had a shaman. I know, fly rear is always an issue. There is a way, I believe, to make flyers walk. I've hardly ever used it. I think you put them in a line, or you can leave some behind on bodyguard. Something, anything. Well, Lucy got 3 more expansions. So which way did he send these big guys? It's coming around over the top here. This big army. Well, whole thing's getting a little bit tense. A little bit tense. Yeah, I mean, it's always the case that you can lose a commander, get your commander sniped by various things. I mean, one of the classics is you just use the cheap priest to bless your sacreds and some stupid stray arrow kills them. That happens. Not uncommon. Okay, we'll do that. Quit and rejoin just so that. See, oh, and what was this one? Oh, some stupid wolves. Or was that? Well, he's got to go back and retake that one at some point. It's not. Oh, that's that terrible province with the undead. He might not even bother. It's just so terrible. Serious piece of junk. It's kind of weird streaming a blitz. Sometimes you're not really sure. Um, not really sure how to keep the patter going. Right now, I don't know. Is there anything really to talk about? Let's take a look at the graphs again. Oh, Hall of Fame. What we got on the Hall of Fame? Bats Be Gone. Bats Be Gone is way up top. The only thing greater is an independent shambler hanging around somewhere. We're not sure where he is, but he's around somewhere. I think Zabalba might have ended up with something on there, except that I'm surprised Zabalba's Prophet's not on there. I didn't see it get killed. Is it in this fight? Let's have a quick look. Is that a Prophet? No. Okay, let's zoom this quick. Divine Blessing. Ahulpu. Ahulpu. Okay. So we can kind of look this over by doing the F1. Ahulpu. Oh, okay. So the Demon of Pus. This is Holy 3. Oh, double whammy on the hurt. Man, that hurts. And he's a Naqui, so he should have summoned free beast bats. Yep. Yep. Free beast bats. Bye bye the free beast bats. That definitely hurts. What else we got going on in the Hall of Fame? Nope, it's just a Hierophant. Third Eye. Ah, okay. And Valor. Those are pretty good. The other thing we kind of want to have a look at here, and I forgot. Hello, Caleb Finlayson Palmer. Where are you? Okay, let's have another look here at what he brought along for Magi. Well, Batabs are just commanders. Ajah. Okay, so that's just a priest. So he isn't bringing out any Magi yet. Any magic other than this hero? This is Lucid playing Pangaea, having a duel with ben-sphynx playing Zabalba. And at the moment, Lucid has pretty hefty advantage. Score graphs, particularly provinces, he's way the heck up there. Ben has been very conservative with his expansion parties, keeping basically just one going, being especially careful. And Lucid's been substantially more aggressive. It's cost him. He's lost a fair number of white centers, about 30 so far, maybe 35 total. But he can afford it. You can see here on the army size graph, there's a flattening in the curve. That was a moderate loss, and then he took one deep loss here. This is early age, correct. And research-wise, none of them have. Oh, well, Zabalba's got quite a bit of research. He's got. Oh, Lucid has finally done a bit of site searching, so he's found a little bit of something. But the income graph for Lucid is crazy. You can see nobody's even tried to build a second fort. I don't. You could look around and see if there's any forts underway, but I seriously doubt it. Yeah, this Centaur Hierophant is site searching. What did he find? He found a free temple. Huh. It's entertaining. Well, maybe he built the temple. It's a forest. The temples are cheap. He's got extra gold. Well, I think it's been a learning experience for everybody. Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't been streaming very much, and I quit streaming on Twitch. I streamed a fair bit of Conquest for a while, and then I did some other stuff. I did a couple of series, and then, of course, Luce and I have kept going with the tournament series. Well, he did it again. Well, that was only 2 elephants, so that was pretty easy. So 2 more provinces for Lucid and no provinces for Zabalba. Well, the bats have expanded. A very small expansion for the bats. You can see it here very clearly on the score graphs. I mean, 1 turn, 2 turns, he didn't expand at all. 3 turns, he didn't expand at all. And then at best, he's expanded a single province a turn. So that's just not going to cut it in a duel. I'm not sure what Lucid found for gem sites. He found something. But I don't think Lucid's game is going to be too much of the way of anything that uses gems. My gosh, he's looped all the way around now. He is very close to putting a siege on Zabalba. Playing pretty careful though, he's filling in gaps rather than making a direct capital rush. Well, yeah, attrition with bats and expansion is very, very high. On the other hand, Lucid's attrition has not been soft. Not been soft at all. I have no idea if he has a plan. I couldn't tell you. I didn't ask him when they were prepping the game. I was very busy customizing this map. I had to add a custom start for the omniscience and make sure the thrones were working and a few other tidbits. And we only organized the game about 3 hours ago, 3.5 hours ago. So these guys were keen to get going right away. I don't know if he has a counter. I mean, he has to know they're coming. I don't know. And as bats, he could quite easily have good scouting around. It's not hard to buy enough Pacabs to send them out, or independent scouts. But does he know what's coming? I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. It is the very good question. Well, Jaguars are pretty far up there. But bats he could have. Oh, I can't see it because um, actually I can if I open Mod Inspector. Look at Zabalba. I'll get to that. Let's take a look at that. Well, let me just make sure. I gotta do this in my turn and then jump back in. You open up Mod Inspector because from memory, Ocelotls come pretty late in the research tree. So he does have pretty good research and he could be heading in that direction. Up Zabalba here. Where are we? Right. Why is it not showing up? Ah, there we go. Alright, so are we? Beast bats is only blood 2. So he could be making bats already. Quite easily. Blood 4. Yes. Single jags or Ocelotls 3. So he could be doing Ocelotls probably by now. Yeah, there you go. I brought it up too. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head. But he could definitely have bats coming out. Now, I don't see any bats yet. No, I don't see any bats yet. I don't see any blood hunting. No, I don't see any. Oh, well, he started a second fort. He's got a Camazotz there. Yeah, I'm not sure what the next big play for him is. I mean, trying to remember, one of these soul spells is pretty good at taking out elites. The bleed one. Yeah, I think it's first soul. Range is pretty short. Not bad, 30. But he's got to have some slaves. I just don't see any hunting going on. But I mean, even the second soul doing some limp. It's not bad. Third soul, what have we got here? I remember it does fatigue damage, and then fourth soul does curse. So, you know, I've seen those used fairly effectively for small targeting elites. Well, I don't think he's got any thugs at the moment. I mean, he had that hero, but he lost it, so not really sure. I don't know. I don't know. Well, White Centaur are just unbelievably dangerous. Oh, here comes the turn. Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. And he's over taking out some independents. Where is he? He's over here, but he's got white centaurs in his home area, in his cap circle, 2 sets of them. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The anti-white centaur plan, I think right now, it might be run away. But maybe there's more to it than I could see. I don't know. I don't know. But that's 2 of his cap circle just got stealthed. Lucid snuck those white centaurs in. Yeah, man. You always gotta watch Lucid closely. Dangerous opponent. Assassinate the leader, yeah, yeah. Assassinate the leader can work. How he's going to assassinate it, not entirely sure. I don't know. I don't know. I think it might be. I think it might be game over. The gods. Well, I can't really tell. It looks like they're not out yet. No, no. The gods. They must have both gone imprisoned because there's no gods yet. It's turn 14. They should be out if they were dormant. So we haven't seen hide nor hair of the gods. We do know the blesses, and we've seen those. So for those that are new, let's just review the blesses again. I'll just highlight them again. Okay, so Lucid took attack, magic weapons, a little bit of poison resist, cold resist, and he mentioned in the chat for this game, he and Ben are not watching the stream, obviously. That would be kind of cheesy. He mentioned what he wanted, not cold resist, he wanted defense. And he did a little bit of strength and blood surge. So, oh, he went larger as well. I missed that he went larger. Excellent. But it's looking pretty much like both took imprisoned gods because we haven't seen a god show up. And they should show up in the scouting reports. So that's Lucid's bless. And then go here, let's look at Ben's bless. All right, so Ben's bless is larger as well. Strength of 4, so and a huge amount of attack skill. So these guys are punchy. They are punchy. They're going to hit hard. Is there enough of them in the whole game to kill white centaurs? I don't know. I would argue you probably need 3 to 1 to have a chance against white centaurs, unless you luck out and can snipe the back row. But now he's got to catch those centaurs, which might just stealth away on him. Yeah, well, as Lucid said, that's what he meant to do, is defense with a little cold resist. But you know, we were all rushing this thing. I mean, the whole idea of starting this thing, oh gosh, we just got going this morning, and then about 3 hours ago, you know, they said, "Ah, we could play this evening." So off we went. But this is intended to be just an exhibition match, not expedition. It's definitely looking like rainbows and less, although Lucid's Dominion's quite high, so he might have taken a Titan and taken the hit. To get 7 candles on a rainbow, well, and see, they both got 7 candles, so yeah, interesting choice. Imprisoned is not a super popular option for dueling. I mean, but it's hard to say. I think I mentioned early on, we haven't seen a lot of 1v1 games around, and I've not watched many of them, and I don't think I've ever played in one since Dominions 5. I used to do quite a few of them in the past, and I don't know if Rail is still watching, but he was deeply involved with the blitzing and dueling community in Dominions 3 and 4. He's not as active nowadays. Yeah, Lamashtas and Retreat. Yeah, that could work. At least messes things up, and it's cheap. And Zabilba has a lot of death gems, or should have. Right now, if I was Zabalba, I'd probably be summoning like a crazy fiend. Better jump out and jump back in so I don't hold these guys up. Should just jump back to national only commanders. Yeah, so he's got a good amount of death. You know, he's got a good chance. Got death 2s, possible death 3s on the Kamazots. He could have a few Onakwi. They're very expensive. So he could be summoning some various, low-level conjuration death dudes. And at least it's chaff. Or he could do, maybe he went enchant for some skelly spam. Those are all possibilities. I hate to try to predict what he has in mind. No, I don't hate to. I can't think of what it would be right now. The thing that seems pretty obvious to me that he's missing is I just don't see any blood hunting going on. Dustwalkers. Dustwalkers. How did he get 4 Dustwalkers? A random event? Dustwalkers are hidden in sand, I believe. I don't know where those might have come from. Well, that's interesting. Oh, so he counterattacked against Lucid. Well, so where is the giant? Oh, there they are. There's almost no white centaurs at home. There's got to be more white centaurs around hiding. He's got some minotaurs, 7 minotaurs. Huh. And 6 more minotaurs. What plan is there? Well, that's a good question. Okay. So these guys just took that place back. The event for the Dustwalkers, that's what I'm thinking. Because it's way too early for hidden in sand. Right here. Sand? Oh. Oh, sorry, death. Oh, why can't I find this stupid thing? Well, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Oh, a D-site mage can summon. Yeah, he did find those ones. Oh, and here we are. Here's a Dustwalker right here. It's this one. Thank you. We saw that earlier, Loggy, and I forgot. So that's where the Dustwalkers are coming from. The tactical movement or the strategic movement? I guess both. I would call that strategic movement on the province scale. But whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. What you're saying is yes, you can absolutely abuse Bacabs with a handful of just crappy warriors, which you can recruit from every darn forest. Although it doesn't seem to have a lot of forests. That's a jungle. No, that's forest. Yeah, he didn't luck out with too much in the way of forests. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, hidden in sand. So I don't think anybody's got that yet. What else have we got? I don't know what else. Let's take a look at his research again. Like, it's quite solid. That's pretty good research. So definitely he could be summoning some stuff up to defend his capital. But the fact that he's probably on the edge of a capital siege, it's going to be painful. Now, unless he summons something that's stealthy, which he might, and we won't see that. We can't see stealthy or glamoured troops. The omniscience doesn't allow us to do that. But anyways, now we know where the Dustwalkers came from. They came from this nice site. I'd be wanting to hang on to that province. A lot of gems. Well, these blitzes are not fast-paced. It is one of the funniest things about streaming Dominions is it's just not very fast paced. But I think this is an interesting thing to stream, is me watching somebody else. Spirit sight scouts. Yeah, see, I don't know if these guys have spirit sight. Do they? They do, they do, they do, they don't. They do, they do. Okay, so thanks, Loggy. You're right. We could see them just glamored. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And he got a mage. So there is a blood hunter. That's the end of those dust walkers. And he's still expanding. Look at that. Oh wow, there. Ouch, 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 ouch. Holy cow. The omniscient scouts have spirit sight. These guys. The omniscient spies. Part of the omniscience mod that lets me watch over the game. Which was made by, oh gosh, I think Aether Nomad, but I could confirm that. Yes, sir, it was Aether Nomad made the Omniscience mod. It's very handy for this purpose. It's really changed. It's a big change to the way Dominions is done with YouTube and streaming and everything else. I think it's done wonders for the game. Well, this is scary. Sun Guides and Zabalban Warriors, he's pulled back to home. Got a Batab. So the strongest commander he's got, based on the scouting report, is just a Batab. Holy cow. Well, he did get his fort up to the second level. Bought some Hoburg militias. I'd have been buying the Hoburg crossbows probably instead of the militias, but the militias work. I'll do my little pop out and pop back in thingy. Well, in a regular game, yeah, black servants have spirit sight, but I was more talking about the specific customized, and these guys are based on, I think, black servants, but they don't have any attacks. Um, the whole idea of omniscience is it can't do anything. Well, I do black servants very frequently for a number of reasons. You can lightly thug them for taking out a little PD. Black servants are also really nice if you want to take a look at a water province, because it's cheaper to summon a black servant generally than put a water breathing item on a scout. Um, they have very high stealth at 60, and there's numerous cheaper ways to thug them. I mean, my latest is we have master smiths, so we're using black servants with a shroud and a single dancing trident. Do I know what he's researching? My guess is blood magic. Well, but he's hardly hunting. Really hasn't done a lot of hunting. Enchant is pretty straightforward. Black steel, black armor, black steel servant. Yeah, that works. Um, any cheap armor, whatever you can build cheap, works on a black servant because they have lifesteal and ethereal. Another one that works I've done is an amulet of the dead. So they summon a skeleton a turn. It also gives them a little bit of undead leadership, so you can give them a couple of ghosts. So a black servant and 2 ghosts makes a mess of a lot of things. There's a number of quite low cost 10 gem or less sort of options. Servant costs you 5, so preferably you spend no more than 5 more gems, maybe 6, 2 items that cost you 3, something along those lines. But I've had some real fun with various, and of course, if you want the Bane Venom, Black Servants are the easiest choice. I find Bane Venom not a very useful strategic item, but it has a psychological effect sometimes. Sometimes players will fixate so much when they see disease occurring, they'll chase the Bane Venom charms all over the place, failing to notice that while they're chasing them, you're actually attacking them from some other direction. Yeah, it's infamous. It's sometimes overrated, but I wouldn't get very many of them. But they do work in a kind of a way. It just takes so darn long to reduce the province or cause enough disease to seriously affect any. And if the army's big enough, well, then it could just patrol it away. Sometimes I think black servants with bane venoms are more like a nuclear deterrent option. They're a deterrent. Well, I have bane venom charms. Don't attack me. I don't know if that really works, but it is an entertaining idea to say the least. Well, we're just waiting on these boys. Just waiting on them. Jump back to the mod inspector here. Yeah, Camazots would be nice. If he had the time, see, he's got some options. If he's on Conjuration, he's got options to toss out some fire elementals. If he got some fire magic or fire gems, we don't really know. It looks like he's just got his capital income, which is 2 death, and he gets 3 fires, quite a lot actually. So he could be using some fire elementals. I mean, the white centers will kill them, but they could do some good damage in the interim. And if he rushed for Conjuration 3, that's Phoenix power. So there's a viable option. Definitely a viable option. What else? So the soul spells from his national spells, various summons. Yeah, it is mostly just a middle finger. Like I said, I have successfully used it as a psychological thing where it has drawn people to send serious armies to patrol. Yeah, there's no fire resistance on those centaurs, so. And some of the low level fire spells can, whittle away. He has to hold the line long enough. One way to hold the line is a ton of scorpions, like an unbelievably godly pile of them, because they're very quick to recruit. Have a look. I believe scorpions are 1 resource, right? And only 15 gold. He doesn't, yeah, and he gets even the littler ones, so 5 and 1. I mean, if you get an absolute swarm of these, each one does have to take 1 hit to kill. So he could have hundreds of these. They won't break. So even though centaurs have a lot of attacks, you still have to actually use those attacks, and you fatigue the whole time. And he's still expanding. Look at that. Out he takes some more lizard warriors. Lucid is still expanding. And he's attacking. A counterattack against some PD. So not even a PD dump, just 10 PD. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And that, oh no, sorry, this isn't really an expansion. He's come around over this way. So he's brought the serious force. 40 white centaurs, plus this bunch. Wowzer. Ah, sorry guys. There we go. There you go. Too many things going on. Too many things going on. So back to it. Got 20 white centaurs here. 20 white centaurs here. I know it's multitasking. I got too much going on. Just trying to make sure there's always something of some interest on the screen when these guys are waiting. Well, you should be able to see now. And then another 20 white, so that's 60 white centaurs, pretty much within striking distance. And I bet you there's more of them around somewhere. But these were two groups of 10, if I remember correctly, so they've consolidated. And that is the only Zabalban army, other than some Hoburgs. There's almost nothing in the capital. So this thing here was 60. That's it. 42 sun guides against 60 white centaurs. I'd say that's a no. Lifelong protection is very significant, but he didn't have much in the way of hunting going on that I could see. I saw very little. Yeah, there is a bit of a delay. Oh, there's a delay between the video and my audio? Is that what you mean, Caleb? Because I get a delay if I go over and watch my own stream. And it's quite significant. Oh boy. Oh, there's more than a delay going on. Yeah, there's quite a delay going on. Right. Yeah, it takes a fair bit of time for things to come back around to me. Holy cow. That looks rough. That looks very rough. I mean, he's got some research, but there's just nothing going on with it. Oh, Pangaea has 3 forts now. What's these new forts? Oh, we got one there? What kind of a fortification is this? Bramble Fort. Okay. Pretty basic. He put one up over here with Minotaurs. Okay. So he did decide to start forting up. These aren't freebies, so he bought those. He templed them. Well, Lucid took a sweet time putting up forts. Turned 16. That's not necessarily a bad thing. There's no shame to surrender. No, but I haven't heard a peep out of anything like that yet. So I don't know if Ben's going to keep going. Looks like he at least wants to have one big fight. See if he's got something, a rabbit, he's going to pull out of his hat. I can't tell yet. I don't see any rabbit. All right, guys, I'm going to take a little bio break and get another beverage. Be back in a bit. You heard a new turn? I didn't see a new turn. Nothing's happening here. Let me pop out. Oh, isn't that interesting? You are correct. New turn. 14 white centaurs. Took another province. The Hoburg militias failed to take almost no PD. Wow. Holy crap. They are terrible. They are really terrible. Jesus, white centaurs everywhere. When is Lucid gonna do this? Seriously killing things. Did you see the Teodal? No. I think they both took imprisoned gods, as far as I can tell, because we still don't see a god showing up in the scout reports. Nothing like a pretender chassis, so that would put them both. It's turn 17, so dormants would be out. So to the best of my thinking, they both took imprisoned, which is interesting. I know, I know. Let's watch that. Two heavy infantry and a minotaur. Good grief. Good grief. That's pretty funny. So, uh, uh, not on the topic of this game, but speaking of crazy province defense, Warhammer Ogres, I did a showcase set of videos on, and it's by Somber. And he's got this Brute, I think it's called, in there that's the commander. And oh my god, for PD1, you get one of these guys and it could take out, 30 or 40 basic troops. Just the craziest damn thing. If you want to see that in action, you should check out my series on Warhammer Ogres. Because it was pretty funny. It surprised the heck out of me. It smacked the crap out of some, not Ashdod. Yeah, Ashdod Anakites all by itself. And Edomites and stuff. I'd have to go back and look at it. I may not have it exactly what it was, but it was pretty darn funny to watch this single PD commander, the last remaining thing, and it berserks, and yeah, it's just crazy. It's got about 65 hit points and 2 attacks and incredible morale. Well, guys, this is rough. This is rough, but it's going to take us a couple more turns, or more than a couple turns. And there's been no talk in the chats. Yeah, so we saw that. There's nothing really to see here. That was 1 PD, so the tab isn't going to hold up. There's a few of the elves who are really dangerous, yeah. Or actually, middle-aged Rillier, with the PD commander that can do Mind Blast, sometimes can hold up exceptionally well. And he's quite well armored with the trident, and so on and so forth. But this was about one of the toughest PD commanders I've ever seen, is the one on these Warhammer Ogres. Yeah, there's definitely some fun you can have with certain PD is just amazing. Yeah, squid PD is scary. Can mess you up. I mean, I'm hugely fond of squids. Very rare I get to play them. Um, Underwater bans are becoming so endemic, just everywhere. I understand it, and I mostly agree with it, but it's a bit of a shame because there's a few underwater nations that I just think are very interesting. Some of them are pretty boring. I'm not super fond of Pelagia, although in the tournament, Arco has done a spectacular job with it. It's just, I always find it kind of dull. Doesn't seem to be, I mean, Pangea in the water, I guess. I tend to overall in general prefer nations with something interesting in their theme, so I don't play any of the elf nations very often. They're just so popular. Um, but I do like Jotun or Utgard. I think I like them better than I do Vanheim or the regular elves. I used to really like Niflheim, but I haven't played it in Dominions 5. Wonder if I have that over. Well, I won't pop out and mess things up here, but yeah, there's not really much else to show here. We just kind of will wait for these guys to do their thing, but I think we can safely predict the winner. Oh, I hear my kettle. I'm gonna go make my tea. Be right back. Well, Caleb, there's nothing wrong with choosing a nation that has lower levels of micro, but is still strong. Um, on the other hand, if you've been watching the tournament series, Arco's micro for Pangaea has not been lightweight. It's been heavy, seriously heavy. So you do have the advantage that some of the things with Pan are very straightforward, but when you get into mid game or late game, you still got a lot of stuff. I mean, he's been doing complicated charm spells and multiple buffs and fatigue plays, and nothing lightweight about it. But at least for the early game, it is quite straightforward. Zabalba is one of the hardest nations to get an early game going with. Um, I did a series where Zabalba was my partner, played by Naira. It's up on YouTube. Blame Lair and Renegade. Or Earthmeld and Earthgrip are good against any elites. Always solid. But in that one, Naira, as my disciples partner, did struggle with his early expansion with Zabalba. Now that one was late age, but still pretty serious. Oh boy. Well, that wasn't a huge loss for Zabalba, except that it's two Magi. That hurts. So he's got those handful of Dustwalkers, but I think Pangaeus, yeah, so he took the Dustwalkers, so now he's got all the Death Gems. Where are the others? Oh, and here comes, oh my gosh, comes another mob stomping towards him. Well, and arguably that was a bit of a distraction, that province up there, but here's 40. Here's Minotaurs and Whites and Jade Maidens. Wow. And here's 30. Oh, we finally see some beast bats. I didn't see a PD dump, did you? Oh, that's the little PD the other guys bounced off of. Are you suggesting that Zavalva could do a PD dump? Well, it wouldn't hurt. But yeah, so at least he's got some beast bats now. Itzob, Itzob. Still don't see pretenders out. Lucid is playing this really quite cautious. He's taking his sweet time closing in. I mean, these are some brutally dominant armies. I guess he's... Oh, there's some nice sites. Missed those earlier. That's pretty nice. Zoom in a little more sometimes, and the sites show up a little better. With Zabalba, yeah, Zabalba, you gotta play some tricks. Scripting's really quite critical. Did it? Did I miss that? Oh my gosh, that was a lot of PD, but see, PD backed up by just a blood one. Let's have a look and see if anything really interesting happened there. Did he have slaves on his magic? He did. This guy's a blood one. And what about the other guy? Air with death and blood. Did those guys get blessed? They fly forward without bless. Oh, they're just warriors. Okay. So we put one on instant. Ekdromos are not bad. Not bad. They're better than these guys. The hoplites are pretty solid. Those white centaurs are just gruesome. They are just gruesome. I mean, look at that. They're just shaking everything off. These guys just don't hit hard enough. Or often enough. We could check it. There'll be a lot of repels going on. Well, he didn't have much for magic, it looks like, because he blood slaves to just imps. So, something, but yeah, these hoplites hold up better, but their attack skills just not good enough. I figured it was about 40. Got time to rough out the math there. It's n times n minus 1 over gold cost. Anyways. Well, I think we've seen what there is to see there. I mean, the hoplites are solid, but they're just not enough to deal with enlarged. I mean, when we look at, we should look at these guys. So he blesses them up. So now they're a length 4 lance with attack of 16. Yeah, the repel is going to be just brutal. Got some repel rolls here. Look at that. Repel value of 24, 20, 23. Okay, let's zoom ahead a bit. Okay, let's have a look, see here about repels. No, that's... How's his repel doing here? I'm guessing spectacularly well. Well, that was a dart thrower. Okay. One of these guys must be getting attacked by hoplites. Maybe this one. He's repelling the stone lances. Repelling here. Oops, come back here. Yeah, the Ekdromos are getting repelled. Dart throwers, they're all getting repelled. He's just repelling everything. Dustwalker gets repelled. Wow. That's nasty. That's one of the most effective sets of repel I've seen in 30 and Hydra, we went with larger on vans, and they were quite effective with repel, but I don't think they come up as again. Oh, Ben is conceding. Alrighty then. Alrighty. Well, we could do a post-mortem, but I don't think I'm going to do it here. And that was excellent. So I'm hoping, just for those of you interested, of course, you should all, hopefully you know where to find me if you need to find me. And I'm hoping to stream a few more of these duels. I won't be able to stream all of them, but it looks like we're looking at Monday. There should be one coming up. And then tomorrow, I'm hopefully getting together with RCK for a podcast style, let's go over just interesting topics. Not sure the time yet. I'm still coordinating with that with him. So maybe I'll just type up those couple bits of notes, schedule stuff. So Sunday, Jan 30, stream with RCK. And Monday, Jan 1, duel Sablecat and come on here. Sablecat's partner in the other duel. That Sablecat and Barkay. All-Star Draft game will be streamed? No, the All-Star Draft game is going up as videos, and Vincent has had a really heavy January, and I had a crappy January, so we're behind. ETA on these ones? No, I don't know a time yet because I have to coordinate with the players. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. For the Sablecat and Barkay, they're both in Europe, and I believe they were talking about GMT +1 at 6:30 p.m. So that would be 11:30 a.m. my time. I'm Mountain. So that's roughly. But I will, once I get that confirmed, I'll post an announcement on the schedule. And I don't know the time yet with RCK. He was asking me while I was streaming, so I couldn't answer that question. But yeah, I got your answer. I won't shut down. I'll give it a few minutes here in case there's any other questions. I am prepping to shut down. Yeah, well, you're most welcome. All right, I think that's it, and glad everybody came by. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be doing some more. Have a great day.